And we are live.
And we are live.
Thank you, me, I know.
We are.
You should have seen, I think it was the last stream or maybe 2 streams ago, I discovered that if I talk and then play it back, it'll just infinitely loop.
It'll just infinitely loop. It'll just infinitely loop.
Do that again.
Yeah, well, wait, hold on.
Do that again.
Hey, no, it's looping. See, that's why we that's why we mute the YouTube audio. It can go insane pretty fast. Welcome everyone to another live stream. It's been a while. I'm here with Robin Tails Fighter, and we're gonna talk about things, cool things like toy cars. I can never do these live stream intros right. I guess being put on the spot makes it a bit more difficult. But yeah, I've been trying to do live streams a bit less frequently. As much as I enjoyed doing them, I don't know. I've just been trying to focus more on full videos instead of streams. Do you think Ryan and Chase are brothers on account of them having different last names? No. What do you think of the recent 2025 leaks? I'm going to try to keep my 2025 leak opinions to a minimum in this stream because I already did a full video on it on my channel, and I know that's what everyone's going to be asking about, but I think it's a rough start, but the last few years have had a rough start, so I'm just waiting it out. I would have.
Too early to tell.
Yeah, it's too early to tell. But I have another video coming out soon where I'm going to be discussing some of the issues with the Cars Diecast line right now, and that's gonna really touch on those. But yeah, I'm trying not to. I don't want to get into it too much. I don't want to beat a dead horse. Thoughts on the new NASCAR line? I also did a video on that. See, that's the problem with me doing live streams. I've covered all my thoughts in other videos. Well, now that I have it in hand, I can give some more thoughts. The McQueen is one of my favorite McQueens of all time. The rest are fine. I think the NASCAR line is best if you simply didn't collect the original line. Cars like Bubba here, you can't really see him on camera, but Bubba literally looks like identical to the regular one. And yeah, I'm very excited. I'm going to be reviewing Karsten Ace Dillon later today. I think he's probably my favorite. Like, it didn't have to come back, but it's nice that it did. A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. What's your opinion on pit stop barriers? I think they're an overused accessory at this point, quite frankly. I know it's stupid to say I have an opinion on pit stop barriers, but they've really overused them. Will that McQueen be your standard McQueen from here on out? No, I would like to use it in Cars Adventures in the future. I certainly would. And I did consider changing to this McQueen at the end of this current season, but the thing is, I just brought back the other Cars Adventures McQueen design. So, I don't wanna swap it out too soon. But I would like, maybe next year, I'll do it, I'm not sure. But I would like to use this McQueen in Cars Adventures eventually. It's just that I just brought back the other McQueen paint job, so. What's your opinion on that table? This is actually a vanity. This is my sister's. Yes, we're back in her room. She's not home today, so we get to be in my sister's room with my friend, her dying plant. I think it's dying. I told her the other day, like, hey, I'm pretty sure your plant is dying. And I think she confirmed that it is. It's just been so hot over here, it's wilting. She's not a professional gardener, as you can tell from the fact that the plant is growing out of a mason jar. Yeah, this is her vanity. I actually have to flip the mirror around every single time so you don't just see my reflection the entire time. It's that I don't see my own reflection, because I think if I saw myself while filming, I'd be, like, distracted. I keep filming my planes retrospective in a room in my house that has a big mirror in it, and I keep just looking at myself being like, are these really the faces that I make while I'm filming? Like, why do my faces always look so intense whenever I'm filming? It's like, have you ever seen somebody like take a nap and you look over and they just look like the world's angriest sleeper? I'm like the world's angriest video talker. It's like I'm not. I'm just subconsciously like furrowing my eyebrows the whole time I'm talking about El Chupacabra trying to romance the other plane. Also, Inside Out 2. I didn't see it. I haven't seen it. I'll probably watch it when it's on Disney Plus. Is Ryan going to be the current Ryan in the series? No, because the number's different. I just want to keep them with their Cars 3 numbers. I have considered it, but I don't want to. Bubba. I had plans for Bubba. I think Bubba's the same number. But since Bubba's sponsor is slightly different, I actually had an idea to have Torqueberry Juice be a separate sponsor that's like a rival company, and have the NASCAR Bubba be a completely separate character. But then I started thinking, and I was like, that seems like a decision from a car series straight out of like 2016. And people would be so confused that this guy's out here making a car show where there's a second Bubba Wheelhouse who isn't Bubba Wheelhouse. But then again, I did do that with Tim Treadless last year, didn't I? And that worked out fine. Who do you think they're going to bring back for the NASCAR line? Well, there aren't many left to bring back. I honestly doubt this will get a second wave. But considering how big the push has been, I could see them bringing back the rest. I would prefer they don't. I don't need every single NASCAR release to have a metallic variant.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I can't wait for them to do like Rowdy Revving Bush and Eric Almiroling, and I'm over here like, I don't need all of them again, man. I don't
Maybe
even.
they should just release new ones.
But there's a problem there. Do you make them metallic if they're new, or not?
I mean, new characters.
Yeah, but if you make a new character, do you make them metallic or not?
Yes, you make it metallic, just like the rest.
But then that's inconsistent with the original line.
I mean, it just didn't have an original line released there, so there's nothing to be inconsistent with.
It's the same as McQueen. This design only exists metallic.
Yeah.
They're not going to do Eric because he retired in real life. Yeah, I was thinking that. I remember looking him up when they released his diecast, and then I like learned like, oh, he's retiring at the end of this year. So yeah, he's gone. Michael Roeder's first release, I don't know what you mean. Michael Roeder's first release was the Fireball Beach Racers line, and they were all shiny. But oh yeah, no, he was in an 11 pack, and he was kind of shiny. And then when Thailand did it, they gave him more of a flat color.
Alright, I'm done testing the thing I was testing, so I can join the stream for you now.
Okay. Let's see. I'm using a teaser poster for Shrek 5. Yeah, there's not much to say. It's just the number 5 with Shrek ears. Are those technically ears? What are they? Tubes? Trumpets? Horns? If I, like, breathe into one side, will my breath come out of the other ear? No, I haven't seen Dragons Rising yet. No.
Okay, at least Aaron said he will acknowledge that places outside the US still have worse distributions in this podcast thing, so that's good.
Yeah, no, it's been messy over here recently, but I'm working on a video currently. I told Robin this before we started the call, but I don't think I said this on stream. Oh no, I already did say this. I'm working on a video about like the biggest issues with the Cars diecast line right now, and I will not be addressing distribution. Distribution is in a separate camp from the other issues. They're I don't think it's valid to criticize distribution the same way we could criticize a toy line. Because there are a lot more factors. I could say, oh, Mattel and Disney made bad choices with what cars they made this year. But I can't say, oh, distribution was poor. I could say they chose bad case assortments I could say, oh, we shouldn't have had 4, let's say, Maypillar Derevs in one case. But how it comes to the stores and how stores stock them and everything, I don't think that's a very valid thing to criticize. Because it's out of their control. If I am making criticism, I want to criticize the people who are making the creative decisions behind the items, not how they get to my stores. I just don't think that's as fair as a point to criticize.
Mm.
Have you seen Despicable Me 4? No, I only ever saw the first Despicable Me, and I've heard bad things about the rest of them. And I've heard especially bad things about the fourth one. From what I've heard, there's like 30 subplots and barely a main plot. And it's like, okay.
I've only seen the first two, never bothered with the other two.
I saw half of...
I've also seen the first Minions movie, and other than that, I don't really care about the franchise.
I'm sorry that you had to sit through Minions. I also did. It's not good. I heard Minions 2 is alright, though. But that one has Danny Trejo in it, so of course it's good.
I can't be bothered to watch it.
I don't know. The thing with Illumination's never gonna make, like, thought-provoking animation, you know? They're not DreamWorks, they're not Disney, they know what they are, and they're typically lowest common denominator animation. They're like the one you bring your 6-year-old to in hopes they fall asleep in the theater. There are exceptions, but that's why everyone was so confused when Nintendo partnered with them for the Mario movie, which is also a perfectly fine movie, but if a different animation studio did it, I think it would have been far superior. I thought the Mario movie was perfectly fine. There's just not much substance to what Illumination does, and there never has been. Their business models just make it on the cheap.
They make it for children.
And that's fine. Obviously, that's perfectly fine. But there's not much there.
It's also good to just have movies it's good to have movies that are just for children and not like I mean things like Spider-Verse, they're good because they give also a lot of adult themes. But sometimes having something that's just for kids and don't think about it much, that's also good.
Yeah, but you look at Pixar, and Pixar has always succeeded from telling stories that appeal to all ages but are primarily for kids. And that, I think, is the best way to do it. You can do just your kids' movie for kids. It's perfectly fine. But I think the best movie for that genre is one that can appeal to everybody. Yeah, because Nintendo was breathing down Illumination's neck. Totally. Still don't know why they chose Illumination, but... Where are you now? This isn't your room. Yeah, this is my sister's room. I used to stream here a few years ago when she was away in college. Now she's living at home again, so... She's not home today, so...
Ty has commandeered her room.
Yeah, well, I store about 300 cars in her room, so it's been commandeered for a while. We're trying to move them out. Will you get the GRC playset? I'd like to. Just to see how it is. It's $40, but... I would like to.
Yeah.
Have you seen Inside Out 2? I already answered this earlier in the stream. I haven't. I'll see it eventually. Excited for the Acolyte finale? No!
I am.
Do you know how they say it's hard to look away from a car crash? Sorry, my phone's starting to get hot.
I'm just excited for it, okay?
Oh no, you're allowed to be, totally. I just,
ignoring the direction, the show is pretty... So if you ignore the direction, it's not that bad. So.
No, I think the writing is the weakest aspect.
Yeah, but like, overall, the show...
It's fine. I've seen worse.
It's alright.
Yeah, no, it's not as bad as, like, I think Book of Boba Fett's still worse.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. Well, you don't get worse than She-Hulk. What have you seen that's worse than She-Hulk?
It's things that I believe, I don't remember that name, but I probably deleted it out of my brain.
I'd argue Secret Invasion might be worse than She-Hulk, because Secret Invasion steps on the toes of pre-established canon and assassinates Nick Fury's character and Rhodey. She-Hulk is just bad, but She-Hulk at the very least is kind of standalone.
Yeah, the Secret Invasion, I quit that show after 2 episodes.
Good. I wish my sister did too, and I was like, I wish I had the strength, guys.
It was like the thing was like I was like, nowadays with shows I used to watch them as soon as they came out, like the first moment. But nowadays I just watch them when I remember, like, oh yeah, there was a show. And in the case of Secret Invasion, after the first episode, I still have that memory, but I just couldn't commit to actually watching it.
Cars like Sanjago, what is Shallow Hal? I hope that's a typo, and you were like, I watched Citizen Kane last night. I don't get the hype. I watched Citizen Kane in a film class in high school. My teacher was 29 years old, and he starts fast forwarding through major chunks of the movie. He's like, this part would bore you guys. I'm like, buddy, thank you, but also you're my cinema studies teacher. I only saw Despicable Me 1, Despicable Me 2, Minions 1 twice, and Despicable Me 3. So you've seen everything except the 2 latest movies. That's not an I've only seen. I've seen most of them.
I'm going for things to be. I'm not.
Excited for Beyond the Spider-Verse. Oh yeah, that's gonna be great. I misread that as I'm excited for Beyonce. Good for you.
Is my chat not behind or something? What?
No, I'm just reading what's been in the chat in like the last 5 minutes.
Oh, you're reading older.
I'm reading older. If you had to fight one of the Cars Adventures villains, who would you fight? The Mime. No, the Mime would totally beat me. Megan Carr. She wasn't a villain. She was just kind of angry at Sally.
She was an antagonist, but she wasn't.
She wasn't a villain. That's Jammit. No.
No. Let's see. Who else have we had?
Oh, the Pity Gang.
I was gonna.
Just Adam Park.
Yeah, Adam Park. Oh, Adam Park would be. I was thinking Mike, but then again, he can teleport, so maybe not. No, not Dee Dee. Because we don't know with Dee Dee. She's kind of innocent bystander.
Oh, Mike. No, Mike was just Mike was just one of the Rod stand-ins.
Yeah, so he's not. Don't really want to fight Rod. He's like. He's still running around. So like.
Yeah, but he's also super damaged and doesn't show his face much.
Like he's biding his time to strike when he thinks the time is right.
Could you beat Aiden? Well, there was like this whole plot line where there was a very specific move that could knock out any of Aiden's guys. But on account of him being a car, I don't think I could beat any of these.
Yeah, well, Adam Park probably the closest. Although, have there ever been any Mini Racer shaped villains? No, I don't think so.
I don't use Mini Racers often.
No, you only use them for like Holly I Shrunk the Cars and like stuff.
I use them for like stories and dream sequences sometimes.
Yeah, I only use Mini Racers as like Marvel toys that the tuners made and sold.
Right. No, that's a fun idea. I used the Cars Squinkies for that once.
Yeah, I would think if I have thought about bringing back Cars Universe, but then I would have to want to restart from the beginning. Like that just would be something I'm gonna. Yeah, that would be something I brought back.
The cars kind of have an inherent advantage of their actual car size. Oh, were we saying they're still toy car size? Because then I could just like.
Eat anyone that's not teleporting.
Let me get like an axe and cut it in half.
Also, World of Cars Entertainment says, I'm sad to admit I've seen She-Hulk twice.
That's a fate worse than death.
Oh, well, I've seen every episode twice, not in a row. But I haven't seen, watched the entire...
Leave my stream!
I have seen every episode individually in random order in total twice.
I would use the Mini Racers for distance shots for illusions. That wouldn't work because the mini. That's a cute idea, but the minis have like cheapified proportions.
Yeah, they're a bit squashed, so.
Do you still have your duplicate Harumi? Yes, I do.
Do you have a duplicate Harumi?
You sent me a
Oh yeah, that's
Harumi.
what I sent you. Never mind.
Yeah. It's on my list of cards to repaint. Ty, how would you update a character that you already did a diecast history episode on if there's a new variant, like the new NASCAR McQueen? I get this question a lot, and it's one I'd like to address in the series itself. At the end of each year, I plan to do a catch-up episode where I just talk about any updates that have been made, and any new items that have been released, any cars that have maybe drastically shot up or lowered in price, and other things like that. Cars that are being re-released for the next year. That problem's actually already sort of reared its head in the next episode. Because now that we've seen some 2025 releases, I'm debating whether or not to include that as a release year. I know it's not 2025 yet, but like Road Trip Mater's Expression variant's coming back for 2025. So I have to add that now.
You should add it for the next one.
Now that 2025 stuff is coming out, like, because I did that when the series was starting. Like, GRC McQueen is in the series, and he wasn't out when I made the episode. A lot of 2024 stuff wasn't out yet. So if something comes out for 2025, it might be a little complicated. Like, because I was thinking, should I just wait until the end of the year to say who's coming back in 2025? But no, if I start now, then I'll remember. You know, that's what's been, like, the decision I've had to make. Do I start adding 2025 cars to the series now, or do I wait until the catch-up video at the end of the year to add them? And I think we're early enough in the series where it's not a big deal.
Yeah, just add them now.
That's less work for me later. I guess there's always a chance they don't actually release or re-release. That's what I was concerned about, but that, like, never happens. If we have an in-box image of an item, it's coming out.
Yeah, but there have been a few inbox items of cards that didn't come out, but that was usually, like, those were, images were only released, like, years later.
Yeah, and those were test packagings.
That too.
Thoughts on the new Venom Tomica cars? I said they look like Venom. I don't collect Tomica, but I want to get that McQueen just so that I could make a gazillion bad Venom jokes.
I have a bunch of duplicate McQueens, so I might just repaint something into that.
It's a really solid design.
No, I actually, before I knew cars was, I've got the cars like from Tomica. I already knew about the existence of Tomica because all my road things that I use are Tomica.
Right.
I just never thought that if I had not come across it back in the day when my friends who were the fans of trains introduced me to Tomica, I would have still gotten into it now, but it would have been so much different because it has impacted my life a lot.
Right, and the road pieces you use are Tomica? I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, they are. They're like from. They don't make them anymore, unfortunately.
How often do people ask you where are those road pieces from? Like, that seems like a question you'd get a lot.
Never. I maybe once.
Everybody in the chat, ask where those are. We need to make up for lost time.
Well, yeah, they're Tommy kind of thing.
Yeah, they're 164.
They've probably had bigger impacts than most of the diecasts that I own. Let's just say that. Of course, cars like Santiago asks now.
On a website where you can chat with McQueen and other characters, they're actually AI. No, shocking. Wow, I thought they would have kidnapped the real Lightning McQueen and forced him to answer my questions.
It's not even real AI, it's just automated responses.
Yeah. I'm gonna program a robot Ty that replies to everything with Vin Diesel dialogue.
That is not the people misuse the word AI way too much.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's become so overused. Like, Siri's been AI the whole time. It's like, It's just a hot buzzword right now. I wish we would refer to it for what it actually is. Yeah, Marina, the 2022 NASCAR McQueen has probably the worst eye printing I've ever seen. I don't know if it's just my copy. I'm pretty sure it's not, but it's incredibly weak and faded and like look at. Look, okay. I never liked Vietnam's eyes, but they really stepped up their game for the new NASCAR wave. There's no longer the like fuzzy shadow. And I respect Vietnam for trying to do the shadows under the eyelids, but they never looked right. But if they're back and they're looking like this, then please give me more Vietnam cars, sure. How'd you feel if you got a fake Cars diecast secondhand? Well, if I got it secondhand, then presumably I would either know that I got a fake or somebody would send it to me and it would be a fake. I wouldn't really care. It's not the real thing.
I mean, as long as you don't buy the fakes from the original producers and don't have anybody buy it for you from original producers, then it's, I guess, okay.
Not how McQueen get pink on. What cool re-releases do you think we'll get next year? I honestly, at this point, I'm not even going to try to predict.
Yeah, don't bother. It's,
Yeah, no, your comments have been coming through. I can't respond to everything. People ask me that a lot. I won't respond to somebody's questions and they'll be like, are you seeing me? Or they'll just repeat the same questions. Like, I can't. There are 25 people watching this right now. I can't answer every single thing every single person asks. I have to pick and choose. And if I don't choose yours, it's nothing against you. I'm just choosing what questions I think are the most interesting to answer, but I do read everything. So what happened to the other stream that you deleted? I didn't start it. It was raining, and when it's raining and my air conditioner's on, it gets really loud. Aaron wants to know where you got the floor that you put the road pieces on.
from a store that sells what's called what is the wood that you use for flooring again?
I think it's just hardwood.
Yeah, well, whatever. We have a Dutch word for it in Dutch, but I don't know what the English word is. But we got it from such a store.
Oh, I didn't know the. Oh yeah, you're right. The yeah, no, Vietnam's stuff is usually good. You're right, when they're not making a pre-existing car. I forgot the holiday ones were Vietnam.
Yeah.
What re-release would you most like to see next year that actually has a chance of happening? More Lemons. Anybody from Tokyo Mater that's vaguely interesting. Literally anything that's not from Cars on the Road. Well, I think we need them. They brought back the Lemons last year and didn't do more this year, which is upsetting. Cars 2 re-releases are always like the strongest re-releases every year, in my opinion. But I don't know what I'm looking for this year killed my like expectations, and honestly July is too early for me to start thinking about next year.
I just don't like to think about predict things. I just wait and see.
I think Cars 2 has the best soundtrack. Cars 2 soundtrack goes hard, but it's Michael Giacchino, so how could it not?
The Planes soundtrack gives it a good run for it.
Oh yeah, no, the Planes main theme is the best part of Planes.
And saying that that's the best part of Planes doesn't actually mean that the rest of the movie is really bad. That necessarily, considering it's genuinely good.
There is a regular Tokyo Mater diecast. He was just out in a 3-pack.
I think Cars 3. Cars 3 is good. Has a good soundtrack too.
A lot of Cars 3's music is reused from the first movie, though.
That too. It doesn't beat everything